I hope you're well. My name is Philip Mwangi, and I bring you the series on building strong and lasting marriage relationships. And my videos, you can find them on TikTok, Philip Mwangi, Philip with a single L. You can also find them on Facebook, Philip Mwangi, Philip with a single L. You can also find them on YouTube. YouTube is Philip Mbuti. Mbuti is MBUTI. Like my videos, share with your friends, with your colleagues, and let's continue building strong and lasting marriage relationships. Today, I want us to talk about an important factor when it comes to building strong marriage relationships. Sex is an important factor in every marriage relationship. Sex can build or destroy a marriage relationship. Sex can strengthen or weaken a marriage relationship. The Bible in the book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse number 4, it says, marriage should be honored by all and marriage bed kept pure. Let me repeat again. Marriage should be honored by all and the marriage bed kept pure. Now, as a way of introduction, today I want us to talk openly and honestly about sex in marriage. Many people fear discussing this topic, yet God created sex. Sex is not dirty, it's not shameful, it's not sinful within marriage. Sex is a gift from God for a husband and wife. So sex is meant to be enjoyed within the confines of a marriage setup. A healthy sex relationship strengthens love, it creates emotional connection, it builds faithfulness between the partners, and also brings peace in marriage and unity between the husband and the wife. The devil destroys many marriages because couples avoid discussing intimacy honestly. They'll discuss about school fees for their children. They'll discuss about this or that in terms of doing things in their house for their children. They things about their work, but they rarely discuss openly and honestly about sex and how sex is affecting them in a marriage setup. The first point I want us to talk about is that sex was created by God. From the beginning, God created man and woman and God commanded them to become one flesh. The Bible says, and the two shall become one flesh. Remember at creation, the Garden of Eden, when God finished the work of creation and created the man, he didn't find a suitable helper for the man, and that's why he was to be put on a deep sleep, and then rib was removed and molded, and God breathed into it, and of course became a living being. And man Adam called his wife Eve when he first saw her. So it is a design by God that when a man and a woman comes together, the two become one flesh. So sex is spiritual, sex is emotional, sex is physical, and it's covenant based. It is not just body contact. It is a deep connection between a husband and a wife. The world has corrupted sex through many ways. And some of the ways that the world has corrupted sex is widespread pornography. Pornography undermines the purity that was designed to be, the purity of sex within a marriage setup, because pornography make it look like it's actually corrupting people's minds as far as sex is concerned. The other thing that corrupts sex is adultery. When one partner goes and starts having sex outside their marriage, that corrupts sex within that marriage setup. And again, also immorality, abuse, and of course, lust also undermines the purity of sex within a marriage setup. But within marriage, sex is holy and honorable. Number two, husband and wife must not deny each other sex. The Bible teaches clearly that the husband and the wife belongs to each other sexually. And that's why the Bible talks about do not deprive each other except by mutual consent and for a short time, so that you do not allow, you do not create room for you to get tempted. So if, for example, you're committing time to pray or time to do something, something that is going to affect your sexual life, agree but for a short time, but then quickly come together so that you don't fall into temptation. This means that sex is a marital responsibility. Sex should not be used as punishment. Couples should not weaponize intimacy. You should not weaponize sex. A spouse should not constantly reject the other. When intimacy disappears in marriage, temptation goes up and distance begins to grow between the two partners, and then bitterness develops, and then affairs begin. So a healthy marriage requires regular affection and intimacy. So if you're in a marriage setup, your man and wife have sex regularly to avoid temptation coming, to avoid distance growing, to avoid bitterness developing, and affairs to start beginning. The other point I want us to talk about is communication about sex is important. Many couples suffer silently because they never talk openly about sex. Husband and wife should discuss what they enjoy when it comes to sex, what makes them comfortable, the frequency of intimacy that they desire, the emotional needs, the physical concerns, and the expectations. That should be discussed between a husband and a wife, because silence creates misunderstanding, and a wife should not fear speaking respectfully, and a husband should listen with love and patience. Good sex begins outside the bedroom through kind words, respect, helping one another, emotional connection, forgiveness. Sex does not start when you get into the bedroom. It begins on how you're treating someone, how you're talking to them, how you're behaving towards them. And the other point I would also want to touch on is foreplay is important. Many men rush into intimacy. They rush into intimacy, but especially for women, emotional preparation is of great importance. Foreplay includes gentle touching, kissing, hugging. Those of us who likes hugging, romantic words, patience, emotional affection. I hope you're following me. And a husband must not treat his wife like an object. A wife should also participate lovingly and willingly, not by compassion. Sex should never feel forced, harsh, or mechanical. The goal here is mutual enjoyment between the husband and the wife. The last point I want to talk about in this part one of this series is that a husband must satisfy his wife and vice versa. Many cultures strongly teach that sex is only for the man. This is not biblical. Both husband and wife should enjoy sex. A loving husband is patient, cares about his wife's satisfaction, understands her emotions, and avoids being selfish. On the other hand, a loving wife responds lovingly, participates willingly, shows affection, respects her husband, and sex in marriage should bring joy to both. I want to end this at part one there until we meet in the next series. Sex is supposed to be enjoyed in marriage, and it's good, and it's holy, and it's pure. Until my next video, this is Philip Mwangi talking about building strong and lasting marriage relationships. Bye bye.